Under the warm light of the afternoon, the two girls face each other. The pink-haired girl lowers her gaze slightly, her voice soft but steady as she gathers the courage to speak. "I came to ask, are you going to D1 tonight?" she says. Her tone carries a hint of hope. "If yes, then can you take me along?" Her eyes glimmer faintly, searching for a sign of agreement from the red-haired girl standing opposite her, whose expression remains calm but distant. The red-haired girl raises her hand gently, her posture elegant and slightly dismissive. "No," she replies softly, her voice almost polite but firm. "I still have to go to school. You should go by yourself." The space between them grows heavier. The rejection, though spoken softly, lands with quiet finality. A flicker of frustration passes over the red-haired girl's face as she turns slightly away. Her thoughts burst out like a sharp sting. What are you pretending for? If not for Mr. Beiming, who would even care about you? The words aren't spoken aloud, but they echo powerfully, cutting through the air between them. She walks away briskly, her heels clicking against the ground as bitterness flashes across her features. The pink-haired girl remains standing, silent but tense. Behind the redhead's retreating figure, her cruel thoughts linger. The kind of cheap woman like her? Sooner or later, Mr. Beiming will get bored. She even thinks she's a unique item. It's ridiculous. The hostility in her inner voice reveals a jealousy buried deep within. The next scene opens outside a hospital entrance. Bright lights illuminate the building as two girls step out together. The pink-haired girl turns to her companion with a soft smile. "Xiang, thank you for going with me to get the medicine," she says sincerely. Her gratitude is warm, contrasting sharply with the tension from earlier. The two girls walk side by side, their steps light. The other girl responds casually, "You're welcome. But what happened in the last meeting? Why was the leader just targeting you?" The gentle afternoon breeze plays with their hair as they exit the hospital, a more personal conversation unfolding between them. The pink-haired girl lowers her eyes, a troubled look clouding her bright expression. "He wanted me to talk to Bei Mingye to help Tang Fei get the second role," she admits slowly. Her words are quiet, but the weight behind them is undeniable. It's a request she clearly resents. Her face reflects the unease she feels. Her fingers tighten slightly at her side as she confides in her friend. This isn't just about a role. It's about pressure, about being used as a bridge to someone powerful. Her expression hardens a little, a sign of quiet resistance forming within her. Her friend, Shang, reacts immediately. Her blue eyes widen in disbelief, anger flashing through them. "What? The second role? Why would they dare to think of this?" she bursts out, her voice full of indignation. The sudden outburst breaks the calmness of the moment like a sharp crack of thunder. Shang clenches her fists, her anger visible not just in her voice, but in the way her entire posture stiffens. "Why would they dare to think of something like this?" she repeats, fuming. The pink-haired girl watches her, feeling a strange mix of gratitude and unease. Though this fight isn't Shang's burden, she's angry on her behalf, and that means everything. The cool tone of the evening light filters through the car window as the dark-haired man sits in the back seat, his expression calm but firm. His voice, low and controlled, carries a quiet authority. "The driver will come to pick you up after school," he says, leaving no room for refusal. The pink-haired girl stands outside, facing him. Even though his words are simple, they echo in her chest with a quiet weight she can't shake off. Her thoughts swirl in silence. Just now, I told him he didn't need to send the driver for me. Maybe he finally got the message, she muses. Her violet eyes lower, a shadow passing over them. Despite her calm exterior, she feels something complicated blooming inside her chest, something she can't quite name. The next day after school, the summer sunlight filters through the trees as the two girls step out of the school gates. Then, suddenly, a sleek black car comes into view, parked not far away. The pink-haired girl stiffens immediately, her breath catching for a second. Her companion turns toward her, curious. She gathers herself, turning to her friend with a careful tone. Xiang, actually, I have an appointment with Minister Bei Ming Juan to discuss the investment money, she explains. Her voice is steady, but her heart beats a little faster. This isn't the full truth, and she knows it. Her friend's eyes widen in surprise. Why didn't you say this earlier? She exclaims, half amused and half scolding. I'll go first then. You go alone. Be careful. Her words are light, trusting, unaware of the storm brewing beneath the surface. As Shang walks away, her figure shrinking into the sunlit path, the pink-haired girl turns toward the car, guilt tugging gently at her chest. Shang, please forgive me, she thinks as she raises her hand slightly. I can't tell you the truth. The wind brushes her dress lightly, as if carrying away her unspoken words. She approaches the car slowly. A man in a black suit pushes the door open slightly, his voice curt and commanding. Get in the car. Her heart skips a beat at the familiar tone, sharp, cold, and a little too close. Her eyes widen. He came here personally. For a moment, the world seems to still. She hadn't expected this. Not him. Not like this. The interior of the car is silent and sleek. He sits on one side, composed and elegant in his tailored suit, typing something on his laptop as if nothing has happened. She sits stiffly on the other side, sneaking glances at him. Quiet, the moment seems to say. Neither of them speaks, yet the silence between them is louder than words. Finally, she breaks the silence in her heart, not daring to say it aloud. Shang definitely wanted to come with me to the room to get the medicine. I was afraid she'd find out about what's between us. Her gaze drifts to the man sitting next to her. He remains composed, unaware, or perhaps perfectly aware of the turmoil in her chest. Inside the car, the atmosphere feels heavy and quiet. He turns slightly, his voice low but firm, and asks, "Is there anything between me and you?" The unexpected question lands like a stone in the still air, leaving her momentarily frozen in her seat. She blinks, her eyes widening as thoughts whirl inside her head. What's wrong with him, she wonders. Why does he look so serious? Is he angry again? The tension between them thickens, making her heartbeat quicken in confusion. He tilts his head toward her, his sharp gaze locking onto her face. His jaw tightens as he asks coldly, "You're really scared of me?" His question isn't just about fear. It's a challenge, a test of something unspoken between them. Her hands tighten on her lap, her eyes lowering slightly as she admits softly, "Yes, very scared." Even as she says it, she feels a strange mix of vulnerability and unease. She doesn't know how he'll react. For a moment, he's silent. Then the corner of his lips curves into a faint smile. "Really?" he replies, his tone almost amused. But behind that smile is something else, a cold, unreadable edge. Inside her mind, the words echo sharply. This guy is heartless. Even his smile is full of coldness and apathy. She stares at him, feeling that familiar chill creep into her chest. This wasn't a warm smile. It was dangerous. Her face remains calm, but her eyes reflect the weight of her thoughts. She tries to stay composed, trying not to let him see how uneasy she truly feels in this moment. Then his voice cuts through the air again. Come here. The command is soft but firm, leaving no room for refusal. She stiffens, unsure whether to move or not, but his gaze is unrelenting. Before she can react, his hand reaches out and pulls her closer to him. The sudden movement takes her by surprise, and she feels the heat of his grip at her waist. The distance between them vanishes in an instant. She stares up at him with wide eyes, panic flickering in her expression. Mr. Beiming, I accidentally touched you, she blurts out nervously. I told you, you won't make our relationship public. Her words tremble in the space between them, as if trying to shield herself from his overwhelming presence. The girl finds herself suddenly pulled closer to him, her wide violet eyes staring up at his calm yet intimidating face. Her heart pounds as the space between them disappears, her breath catching as she realizes how near they are. His presence feels overwhelming, both captivating and frightening at the same time. His sharp eyes narrow, voice carrying a dangerous calmness as he tilts his head slightly. Did I say that to you from when? He asks coldly, the weight of his words pressing heavily into the air. The shift in his tone makes her chest tighten with unease. His face hardens into a serious, almost emotionless expression. The playful smirk that sometimes lingers at the corner of his lips has vanished completely, replaced by an intensity that makes it hard to look away. His piercing gaze locks onto her as if demanding an answer she doesn't have. Leaning closer, his tall frame shadows over hers. His voice lowers, deep and smooth, as he whispers, "You're really afraid of me or don't want to be with me?" His proximity leaves her frozen, her heart fluttering in both fear and confusion. She tries to steady her breathing as her thoughts race. That's scared, don't want, but this kind of saying. His words replay over and over in her mind, twisting everything she thought she understood about their relationship. Flustered and cornered, she stammers out her words. How could you know I am here? How long have you been here?" Her voice trembles slightly, revealing both surprise and uneasiness. She's desperately trying to divert his attention. Her lips curve into a small, uneasy smile as she shifts her gaze away. She knows she's deflecting the question, but it's the only defense she has left. She can't meet his intense stare head-on, not when he's this close. His hand gently but firmly cups her cheek, tilting her face back toward him. A faint, knowing smile plays on his lips as he replies softly, "Not for long." His touch is warm, yet it carries an undeniable sense of control that makes her shiver. She stares at him in disbelief as he adds casually, "Just as waited more than an hour?" His tone is light, almost nonchalant, but the meaning of his words hits her like a wave. He's been here all this time, waiting for her. Her eyes widen in shock as she processes what he said. Could it be he actually went to school to wait here? The thought makes her heart skip a beat. She doesn't know whether to feel touched or terrified by the depth of his persistence. The car door closes softly, sealing them in an elegant, quiet space. He sits beside her, his sharp suit perfectly pressed, expression firm and unyielding. With a low, commanding voice, he says only one word, "Drive!" The air between them stiffens instantly, leaving her to glance sideways at him nervously. His authority is absolute, and she knows it. Her hands tighten slightly on her lap as she leans forward, looking up at him with pleading eyes. "Sir, all my books are in the dorm. Can I sleep in the dorm tonight?" Her voice is soft, but beneath it is a quiet desperation. She's trying to hold her ground, to make him understand, even just a little. Her pink hair falls over her shoulder as she unconsciously reaches toward him, tugging lightly at the edge of his sleeve.
It's a small gesture, gentle, uncertain, like a quiet attempt to bridge the distance between them. Her heart beats faster as she waits for his response. He doesn't open his eyes. His jaw tightens ever so slightly, and a cold wave seems to radiate from his still figure. The word hangs heavy in the air, coldly. Even without speaking, his rejection is clear. His silence is louder than any refusal. But she refuses to give up so easily. Her eyes brighten with determination as she explains. I have a test next Tuesday. I want to go back to study for exams. Her voice trembles at the edges, not from fear, but from hope. She wants him to understand that this isn't just an excuse. It matters to her. The car is silent again. She calls softly, Sir? He keeps his eyes closed, unreadable. Only the faintest furrow between his brows hints at the thoughts behind that calm mask. She waits, but the silence stretches on. Her shoulders slowly lower as her lips press together. A small, bitter smile touches her face. He was sleeping, she thinks. Maybe I was thinking too much. How could he care about my feelings? The word disappointed cuts through her chest like a quiet whisper of her own heart. Outside, the car speeds through a bright intersection. The sun washes over the city streets. Life moves on in its usual rhythm, uncaring of the quiet storm brewing inside the car. Finally, his voice cuts through the silence like a blade. Go to school. His tone is sharp but decisive. There's no hesitation in it. For him, the decision is final, like a king granting permission from his throne. Her eyes widen in surprise. Then, almost instantly, they light up with joy. Thanks, sir, she exclaims, a bright smile blooming on her face. He glances at her, and a faint, almost hidden smile tugs at the corner of his lips. The heavy air in the car slowly melts into something softer.
His voice was calm, but firm, leaving no room for negotiation. I only gave you 15 minutes to get your books, he said, his sharp eyes glinting with a quiet authority. Then I'll personally go to the dorm to find you. The words hit her like a warning bell, steady, confident, and impossible to ignore. He wasn't joking. He never was. She instinctively curled her hands near her chest, feeling a mix of panic and disbelief. There was no escaping his control, not even over something as small as this. Her heart skipped a beat as her violet eyes widened in shock. You want me to carry books and go to D1 with you? She blurted out, unable to hide the surprise in her voice. The idea of being dragged along, books in hand, to wherever he decided, it was overwhelming. She clutched at her shirt collar, unsure whether to laugh at the absurdity or tremble at his persistence. He glanced at his watch, utterly composed, and replied coolly, There are still 14 minutes and 50 seconds. It wasn't just a statement. It was a declaration of his unshakable control over time, over the situation, over her. Meanwhile, she remained frozen in the car seat, her pulse quickening. He was counting the seconds like a commander on the battlefield, and she was the one caught in his command. Without another word, she pushed the car door open with a determined click. The wind rushed past her as she stepped out, her hair and dress flowing behind like a soft ribbon. Her steps were light, but quick, and her clenched fist pressed against her chest betrayed her agitation. She wasn't going to sit there helplessly. Not this time. The car door shut behind her with a sharp close. Her skirt lifted slightly in the breeze as she moved with a mix of frustration and urgency. The sun caught the strands of her pink hair, making them shimmer faintly. She didn't even look back. Whatever this man wanted, she wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of seeing her flustered. The man standing nearby blinked in silent shock. His usually calm expression faltered for a second as he stared at her determined figure walking away. This attitude, he thought, his brows drawing together. She's angry? I just thought she would never go against Mr. Bei Ming. He had expected her to obey quietly, as she always did, but this time, something in her had changed. Inside the car, A hand held a half-burned cigar, a thin ribbon of smoke curling lazily into the air. The glowing tip flickered faintly in the dim light, each breath of smoke twisting into the space between them. It was the kind of silence that didn't need words, heavy, calculated, and dangerous. He leaned casually against the leather seat, the corner of his mouth lifting into a faint, cold smile. His posture was relaxed, almost too relaxed, like a predator waiting for its prey to walk back into the trap. Through the slightly opened window, the smoke drifted outside, but his gaze remained fixed forward, calm, unreadable, and commanding. No matter how far she tried to run, she couldn't escape the fact that he was always one step ahead.